Hello everyone, welcome. Let me quickly just check, is everyone here? Did everyone get back on when I restarted the stream? Gonna put fuel in for the race, starting with 11 gallons. Alright, let's just double check. Okay, so welcome, I should say, to ISRA League's Grand Touring Championship. This is the beginning of Season 8. This is Race 1. It's 2 hours at Spa. And it's going to be a tough one. I'm racing in the Daytona prototypes. We have the 2 car classes are the DPs and the Cadillac CTS V. And it's going to be a really good season, I think, better than the last one because it's not going to be as fragmented. We won't have the situation with the Ford GTs being roughly the same speed as the Cadillacs. And let's just look at the qualifying order. Russell Cow with a 209.5 is the pole sitter. And got Mike Kelly, Timothy Stoll, Patrick Spence, Carlos Passos, Brian Carey, then me. Starting 7th with a 212.373. Alright, it doesn't really matter that, cool, thank you, that I didn't get a better time because Brian Carey's time was a full second better than mine. I don't think I was ever going to do that. And let's check it out. So Brent Briles is right behind me.
Yeah, sorry, Chuck. Patrick
then we got
my
John
number,
Middleton, Matthew Voigt, Mike Taylor, Jeremy Burris, John Rosito, Sean Cuthbertson, Jerry Marsdorf, Gilles Moret, Carl Mumbauer, Chuck Chambliss. But it's worth noting that from me in 212.3 down to Gilles in starting 16th, so 11 spots back with a 213.9. But
well done, guys. Great job in that session.
That's a 1.5 gap between me and the last starting guy. Down to 12th is people in the 212s. So, alright, our race session is going to begin in 2 seconds here. So I'm going to put that away so I can't see you can get distracted. I'm going to double check my race fuel. And I'm going to jump into the car. There we go.
1 lap to green. Line up on the right side. Pit road is closed.
There we go. Set up my first pit stop. And now we got 2 minutes.
Good luck, everybody.
Minute 35 to the pace lap. This is going to be really, really challenging at the beginning.
Drive them like you own them, guys.
Let me tell you.
Good luck.
2-hour race, guys. No lap 1 heroics.
I'm a little worried about Eau Rouge. I always am. Not so much because I don't trust these guys. They're awesome drivers, but this car is so easy to get off a little bit that I'm worried that it's going to do something bad. Someone's going to do something bad accidentally, and then that'll just pile up a whole lot of people. So let's hope starting in 7th that I'm not part of it. Hope like heck I don't cause it. That really bugged me. We've got 45 seconds. 45 seconds till we begin.
Rob, I think, is that a flat tire? Good luck, everybody.
30 seconds.
Good luck, everybody.
Good luck, guys.
not do anything silly until after the second pit stop.
Oh, I've got a trailer. I don't have to stop for gas.
Okay, that's it. We should be starting. I'm in gear, so the pace car is going to start moving in just a second. Oops, let's get the F3 screen up.
Are we there yet?
Here we go. Pace lap has begun. It's a short pace lap. Kind of excited. I like it when that happens. It's fun to be excited. Get those little butterflies. Clean slate in terms of championship points. It's a nice, tough field, but one that I think I can make some inroads in.
Anybody starting from pit lane?
Get ready, going green.
That was a little premature going green. Pace car is still in front of us. Wait for it. Wait for it. Pace car's in.
Pace car is in. Green, green,
We're
green.
going. Good start. Brian Carey's behind me, so I picked up a spot right there. And got through Rouge alive. Which on lap 1 was all I was hoping for. Alright, I'm going to give Brian his look on the inside if he thinks he wants to try that. He doesn't.
Good catch, Julia.
So you're going psycho. It's already gonna meet those flags, huh?
Sorry, I haven't been talking, I've been concentrating. Oh, Patrick Spence slows up a whole lot, but I think he was worried about accordion for the other guys, so he was just slowed up. Brian Carey's half a second behind me, and half a second behind Patrick. Short shifted a little bit there because I didn't want to spin the wheels on that paint over on the left side.
2 minutes 14.9.
Oh, I didn't do that very well at all. But I kept it going. And Brian Carey behind me. I don't know if he was slow because he saw I did badly or what, but he's as far behind me as Patrick Spence is ahead of me, although I think I just screwed that one up. Let's unscrew it, huh? Brian Carey right on my tail now, 0.2 seconds behind me. And there's a one-off, so I don't get the Clean Driver Award. Oh well. Let's try to pick it up here and catch up with Patrick Spence. Brian Carey's falling a tiny bit back. Awesome. And on track. Oh man, that was almost a little bit too hot there. But I picked up a little bit of time on Patrick Spence, probably just because he was slowing down for the other guys. And yeah, there's definitely a traffic effect here. But that keeps it interesting.
12.518.
Ooh, I hit my mark, but it got a little wobbly, and I failed to downshift into fourth the way I wanted to. It's okay though. And that was a mistake that Brian Carey's going to try to take advantage of. He looks to the left, does not think it's there. And I'm going to fight him off as long as I can, because what the heck, we are racing. Go. Nice. Alright, all I need to do is close that gap here, which I've been doing at this point pretty consistently. Ooh, except for this lap.
Car right. Still there. Clear.
That was a light tap. Let's see if the damage did anything. I held as far on the inside as I could. Come on, first gear. Alright, here's the moment of truth. If the steering's screwed up, it's going to show right here. A little bit wobbly, and the wheel I think is a little bit to the right, but I can totally do this for the rest of the stint. Not much damage at all. I'm in good shape. Although I think I've taken a little bit of aero damage because I didn't get as fast as I've been going up Camel, but what can I do? It's too early to pit. Gotta run the laps I can run with a car that, I mean, it's handling pretty well.
You got a slow car on the left.
Oh, and a big spin for Patrick Spence. I think he hit the wall. And that could easily be race-ending damage for Patrick Spence. To be honest with you, the car might be turning better now with the damage. I need that straight line speed, but a lot of places I was washing out at. Either I'm going slower through them now, or I'm cornering better. my own fault. Had nothing to do with the car. Alright, I'm only 2 seconds behind Brian Carey.
2 minutes 13.092.
And I have Jeremy Burris 0.7 seconds behind me. And yeah, Patrick Spence out of the race. And right now I'm sitting in 6th. So I gained a spot on Patrick Spence, or rather on Brian Carey at the beginning. And then I lost it, and then Patrick Spence went out. Let's see if I can keep Jeremy behind me. Oops. Ooh, I turned in a little early there, but you know what? It actually worked out alright. I hate these Daytona prototype mirrors, they're so small. But even then I can still see Jeremy Burris back there. He's got a white car. You should be able to see him right over there, popping up every now and then. Let's get this right. Not lock them up again. Good. I did that well. And Brian Carey is not like taking off or anything. He's holding a steady amount ahead of me, so things are looking pretty good right now. 2 seconds ahead of me and 1 second behind me. That's how the
2 minutes 12.532.
Nice, that was really good. And I'm picking up some time on Brian Carey, 1.8 seconds. Good. I'm going to hit the rev limiter, 1.7. If there's aero damage, it's not a whole lot. That was pretty nice. Fortunately, Jeremy Burris, 0.6 seconds behind me now. .3 seconds behind me, 0.2. And tidy. And now being a 1X, that was perfection. This is not. Stopped Cadillac of Ian Boyd over on the left. Jeremy Burris, 0.6 seconds behind me now. 0.7, so I've done 0.8. I've done pretty well in this setback section. Okay. And Ricardo's out, but he said he was not feeling well, so he wasn't going to make. He didn't think he'd make the whole race, and there we go. He didn't. Come on, there we go. A little bit more spin to make that than I'd like. Kept me off the gas for a moment, but got through. All right.
2 minutes 12.602.
And that time is really good, so I'm happy with that lap. Whatever damage I have is not hurting me. Jeremy Burris, 0.2 seconds behind me.
Jeff?
Come on, turn. There we go, baby. And I think this is the first of the real traffic we're coming up on. Jeff Smith. Oh no, and he's blinking badly.
Car on your left. Stay on the right. Keep to the right. Clear on the left.
Okay, now I'm going to have to hit the pits. Because Jeff was out of control.
Your car has too much damage.
Shoot.
We've got to fix it.
Damn it. Well, hopefully they can fix it. I don't know what the heck.
Right side. Clear.
Alright, well, we're heading to the pits and see what they can do. Let's hope for repairs and not a we're done. I didn't hit that hard. Shoot. That's a terrible way to get busted out of the race. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, let's see if they can repair it. Here it comes. Can they repair it? Well, it's actually, I think, inside my pit window. I think I'm still only going to have to pit twice. Alright, let's see what happens here. Please be able to repair that damage. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. Here we go. They can repair it. Okay. Unfortunately, it's 2.5 minutes of required repairs. I'm using the pit speed limiter. No, it's not that I had to learn how to drive. It's that Jeff was out of control. I was passing him, and he started to swing right, and I had to evade him because he screwed up. And yeah. All right. Well, we'll sit here. It's a long race. It's a 2-hour race, so it's definitely still worth sticking out to the end. I'm not going to do the full 9 minutes. I'm going to take the 2 minutes of repairs and see what that does for me. Yeah, I got a pretty
slow down here, Colin and Todd.
Bent up section there. Shoot. And I'm getting lapped by the race leader. Minute 30 left. I don't like the look of that. I hope they can fix it. Come on, guys. Give me new body work. Yeah, well, I mean, there's plenty of time for other people to have problems, so I'm not,
you're blinking a little
not
bit.
worried yet. "45 seconds. "30 seconds. I want to see that body work over there look right before I leave. now I'm into optional service time. So the question is, do I leave the pits now and hope that that 9 minutes damage is nothing? Or do I wait for some more repairs? Yeah, I'll do a couple more minutes. I want to see the how many laps. It's a 2-hour race, and there's an hour 40 left. Alright, when I hit 4 minutes in the pits, I'm going to pit out, and we'll see what happens. You think? I don't know, sometimes they're full of it and the car's in the damage, but I don't like the bodywork damage that I'm seeing. I'm not going to do 9 minutes in the pits, that's too much. But come on. I'm already past 4. I'm at 4.5. Oh, it is? No way. That sucks. I've been in the pits for 5 minutes. It says 6.5 minutes left. Oh, man. I don't know. This isn't the first time I've had trouble with Jeff either, so I'm going to strike him, I think. Alright, well, let's see what's up with my wheel. Is it really off to the right like that? I mean, if it's off to the right, nah, I can get it straight. Alright, let's find out what happens. Okay, your wheel is straight. So they fixed the suspension damage anyway. Pit out, pit out. Oh man, the car is loose. The car is ridiculously loose.
Man, that was crazy. Chuck, you're disappearing for several seconds at a time.
Alright, so far it feels okay. A little loose. Maybe it's not as bad as I thought. Okay, you know what? This is alright. It's a little bit loose, but I can work with this. Okay, so I got Jerry Morsdorf ahead of me. I don't know how I am on pace compared to him. Obviously qualified ahead of him and would be faster in a fully functional car, but let's see what I am like in this thing. Okay, well I would have been normally in 5th right there, so I'm a little bit concerned about the top end, but I'm not going to wait 6 minutes to get a little bit of top end speed. On the whole, car's feeling pretty good. So we're going to see what I can do. I've picked up 0.3 seconds on Jerry Morsdorf. So this is going to be interesting. I'm going to claw my way back, and I think there should be interesting racing here as I try to pass some guys who have lapped me, but who are normally slower than I am. Braking fine. Okay. I think it's bodywork. I think the car is solid. That was my fault. I started braking a little bit too late. Okay, real test is a Rouge. We'll see how I do going through there.
8 minutes 41.791.
Oh man, beautiful. I mean, I took it a little bit gently, but no problem. Yeah, you can see my top end is just not there. I've got no top end. I'm probably 10 miles off an hour off from where I should be in terms of top speed. I'm just not going to wait for them to fix the bodywork though. Even in a 2-hour race, I don't think I'm going to gain 5 minutes back out of that. The car is otherwise handling great, and maybe I wasted a bunch of time in the pits. I don't know. I kind of wish they'd tell you what you were waiting on, so I could have waited for all the suspension work and then left before they finished the bodywork, but whatever. Okay, I got into 5th there. Good. So maybe it was just cold tires slowing me down before.
Left side, clear on the left.
Nice.
Coming left.
Got to get all the aero advantage I can.
Left side. Stay on the right. Clear on the left.
Okay, I'm 1.6 seconds behind Jerry Mooresdorf. And he's going to look at me funny when I try to pass him. He's going to say, I'm on that hook.
Minute 13.992.
Not my best lap, but not a horrible lap either. Okay, I'm into 5th, 157, 160 miles an hour. I'm drafting a little bit, 164. Come on, let's get the ones. I can't even get the lights. Oops. Tried to adjust my brake point a little bit later because of the lower speed, but misjudged it a little bit too much. There. Alright, on my second stop, I think I'm going to have to take 14 gallons of fuel, so let's just get that set up. And then we're going to have to hope that it's sitting in the... Whoa! Back end stepping out a little bit, but it's alright. It's under control. Yeah, my co-commentator Anthony Muniz and a Cadillac ahead of me.
Sorry, guys.
Not gonna happen, Anthony. Not here. It's gonna happen here.
Left side. Clear.
So I'm running 16th right now. Several laps down.
2 minutes 15.175.
And I'm still 1.5 seconds behind Jerry. Nice. And Jerry Burst is out of the race. Crashed out or something. Well, he manually disconnected, so he must have taken damage, and that means I'm going to be 15th. I think that's where you start picking up points. Oh. Somehow, somewhere. Go.
Right side. Clear.
Alright, this is what they do in the real series. They fight, they never give up. Well, they sometimes give up, but not when they're just behind by this much. They fight for all the points they can get. There is a drop lead. I'm gonna sneeze. 1 sec. Shit. I want to sneeze in New Rouge.
2 minutes 14.208.
Car totally planted through there. 1.2 seconds behind Jerry. That is not the best section of track for me.
Thanks, John.
Okay, 1 second behind Jerry. Let's do this. And then Sean Cuthbertson's 3 seconds ahead of me. So he'll be my next target to unlap myself from. I'm kind of wound up, so I gotta do a lot of unwinding in the next hour and a half.
Sorry, Mike.
And there's a spin, but it's not a fatal spin. Sean Cuthbertson with a minor spin, half spin there. Alright, got you in my sights. Let's get past. Oh man, look at all that traffic.
You've got a slow car on the left. You've got a slow car on the left. Car on your left. Clear on the left. Left side. Clear. Minutes 14.265.
Exit speed, exit speed, exit speed. Oh, that might be a black flag for Jerry. Maybe not.
Car right.
I have no idea when he's going to brake because I think there's traffic here. Yes, there is. Fortunately, it wasn't too early. Okay, he should be able to get past someone, and so should I.
Car right. Clear. Too wide. Clear.
This is fun.
Car right. Clear.
That's a big mistake.
Car on your left. Clear on the left.
There we go. All right. Now for Sean, 3 seconds ahead of me. Thing is, my low top speed is gonna
Car
be
on
an
your
issue
left.
here,
Clear on the left.
as you can see. This is gonna be interesting.
Car right.
Come
Still
on,
there.
turn in.
Clear.
I can get by him, but I don't know how I'm gonna stay past him. Okay, I didn't think about that one. That's not true. I did think about it a little bit. I was hoping that I'd get an awesome run at some point in a twisty
2
section.
minutes 17.363.
Whoa, whoa! That was all going just fine until it wasn't.
Right side. Keep to the left. Clear.
Once again, it's not going to matter how good a run I get here because his top end is higher than mine.
Left side. Clear on the left.
Difference there being that
Right side. Car stop on the left. Clear on the right.
it's Colin.
Car right. Go right. Clear. Too wide.
He did that to himself.
Keep to the left.
I had nothing
Clear
to
on
do
the
with it.
right.
Oh!
18.693.
There we go. That's more like it. And Daniel Verness really cooking those rear tires. Sean.
Car on your left. Stay on the right. Clear on the left.
little battle with Sean. Now, depending on what happened to Jerry there, I may have picked up a position. He hasn't exited out yet. Now, he unfortunately did that to himself. Oops, I should be in second. Right after pit in. So, figure if he took damage and needs to pit, he had to do an entire slow lap. And I mean, he really plowed into the wall head first. Not too fast, but Mark Payne cooking up some Cadillac too.
Left side. Keep to the right. Clear. Car on your left. Clear.
It's going to swing out there, but didn't want to run into Mark Payne. Alright, Sean Cuthbertson, 2 seconds ahead of me.
2 minutes 15.016.
And he's going to get really slowed up here at the top of Kemmel because of those caddies, where I am not. Of course, it's going to happen at some point. Looks like I'll be able to get past Eric, not here, but after the left-hander up ahead. Up here, I should be able to get a better run down the straight, I hope. Maybe not. Nope.
Car right. Still there. Clear.
Why do I keep going into first there? Hit out. Now check the time. Let's see. Hour 17 left. Hey, that's true. Some other people are going to be doing pit stops soon.
Right side. Clear.
So that'll give me an opportunity to get by them.
Sitting in.
Alright, well I haven't picked up 14th. Let's just, let's wait until I get past
2 minutes 15.147.
Well, I'm doing pretty consistent 2:15s in traffic. Alright, so let's just check. Next up is John Middleton, 2 laps ahead of me. I assume that means he's had some issues too. So let's see if I can unlap myself from him. That'll be for position.
Chuck, you are all over the place blinking, man. I had no idea you were there. I can't see you at all.
I don't think Sean is going to make it past the Cadillac here. Nope.
Still up here.
So I'm going to hang back, collect me some speed,
Car on your left.
and unlap myself,
Clear on the
apparently. Didn't expect that. I thought he was going to get by, but apparently not.
Get out.
left side. Stay on the right.
That's the
Clear.
battle. This is the battle for first in Cadillacs. Eduardo behind James Cullen here. So they're not going to give really anything at all.
Car right.
Sitting out.
Clear.
Wow, Sean Cuthbertson has either pitted or screwed up because he's way, way back there.
2 minutes 16.243.
Yeah, held up a little bit extra in traffic that time. I don't think I'm going to get past Lance by the end of tunnel. Nope, not with my top end. It's okay.
Right side. Clear on the right. The lead is pitting now.
Okay.
Car right. The lead is pitting now. Clear.
Oops. So as the leader's pit, I don't think it's going to quite give me a chance to unwind myself, but we'll see.
The lead is pitting now.
It's a very, very long and slow pit lane, so even though the pit stops are pretty quick on this car, man, people went 45 minutes or so. It's a little longer than I had planned to go, but it's alright. Just different strategies. Alright, let's see if I can unlap myself.
Get in. Go. Steady out there.
That's Russell Cow, the leader, pitting out. Gotta get past Schaefer here before
Right
we lose.
2 minutes 14.553. Clear.
Okay, so Russell Cow is 11 seconds ahead of me, so I did not unlap myself quite from him. Well, he's in fourth right now, but he would be the leader. I suspect there's just someone else who hasn't pitted yet. Probably about 3 people, actually, who went for the 14 gallons first long stint there. Carlos is one of them. He's now pitting in.
The lead is pitting now.
Yep, and he was the leader. Not anymore.
The lead is pitting now.
Alright, whoever was behind Carlos.
Sit in. Out.
So, let's see, that was Jerry Mooresdorf pitting out. So, he managed to limp around on whatever damage he had, but seemed probably repaired it.
Hitting his time, hitting his time.
So I'm close to him now.
Head out.
2 minutes 14.64.
And there I am getting past a couple people.
Setting out.
And I'm going to catch up with Timothy Stoll here, but not get by him, which is just fine because all he'd do is have to get by me after that. Ooh, shoot. That was a little bit more off track than I wanted.
Sit out, sit out.
Right side, keep to the left, clear on the right. Left side, clear on the left.
Sorry, Colin. We're battling for the lead, basically.
Left side, clear on the left.
Shoot.
Exiting pit.
Sorry.
It's okay, it's good, Colin.
Minutes 16.655.
And Carlos is going to get by me just on top
Alright.
end alone.
Clear.
Todd, I'm gonna let you by here. We'll hope for you, Jeff.
Car right. Clear on the right.
Cuthbertson is out, so it's just a couple laps until I pick up 14th. And I can maybe pick up a top 10 just by surviving. We'll have to see here. Huh, I don't really have to brake there because my top end's not high enough. I'm just glad the arrow isn't affecting my turning. Just my top end.
Sorry, Todd, I got all screwed up.
Go ahead, Mark, I'm gonna lift.
Minutes 14.775.
5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5
John Middleton is still showing us the next guy up, 2 laps ahead of me.
Car right. Clear. Car right. Clear.
Oops, that was a terrible line. See if I can motor past Colin here. I've got the power!
Right side. Clear on the right.
Hey, finally someone on the same lap as I am. Lance Snyder in the Cadillac. It's not really that exciting.
The car on your left. Clear on the left.
I'm gonna lift for you up here, Brian.
And Brett Van Horn in the Cadillac.
2 minutes 14.847. Car right. Clear.
Alright, so I'm on the same lap as the back marker Cadillacs. That's something. I don't think I'm gonna. Nope. Unless he
Left side.
tells me to. Come on.
Clear.
Sit out, sit out.
Okay, John Middleton's pitting out. So he's about,
Sorry, Mark.
I'd say 30 seconds ahead of me and 2 laps. But if I can catch up with him, I can get 1 lap back.
Colin, I'll lift up here. Let's try.
Wow, I can go really fast through there. It's actually really slow, but it's fast for me. Come on. Okay, I can get past Mark Payne.
Left side. Clear. Car right. Clear on the right. Two minutes 14.961.
Alright, I'm in
You've got
14th.
about 5 laps of fuel.
Uh-oh, I have to pit soon. But I think I'm going to work out alright, because I think I only need that 1 pit stop. I won't need a splash. I'll check that in a minute. know, that looked like there may have been contact there for Brian. And these guys are fighting for third, so they're not going to be too anxious to let me by. As you can see. But I'll get by here.
Clear. Car on your left. Clear.
Yeah, baby, I'm full throttle through there. At least with an empty tank. Definitely getting the feeling that I shouldn't have bothered waiting for any of those optional repairs. Slip through there, alright. Okay, let's just see. We got 58 minutes left. 59, really.
14.908.
Alright, let's check how much fuel I actually have. 2.9. That's going to be good enough for 4 more laps. That's not quite going to do it. I'm going to need a small splash before the end of the race. Well, it's almost enough for 5 laps. 5 laps, a little over 10 minutes. No, you know what? I'm not going to need a small splash. I'm fine. Just barely, but I'm going to make it. That incident happened right at the right time, and the repairs, even though I waited a long time, saved me fuel. That's one way to look at it.
Alright,
I don't think it makes up for sitting in the pits for 6 minutes or whatever I did, but... James on the next right-hander. He's in second right now.
Car on your left. Clear on the left.
Now,
car right.
Eduardo.
Clear.
Screwed that one up. Alright, looking for John Middleton. Whoa! Okay, it was perfect, but not what I wanted.
Two minutes 13.583. You have about 2 laps of fuel left.
I am hitting this time by. I am hitting this time by.
It's funny, it's a real quiet time on the comms during the race. It's good. We don't want people talking on the comms, but, you know, earlier there's a lot more chatter. Okay, I should be able to get by here.
Right side. Clear.
Coming up on Gary Miller. I wonder if that's the same Gary Miller.
Car on your left. Clear.
I can barely see where you're at, Chuck. So don't.
Okay, this is it. Last lap. Oh, and I lost my motion seat, fortunately. It's in an okay place, but holy cow, I feel like I'm floating. Oh, I hate this feeling. Alright, well, it's beta software, so I will report that it has happened once again. It is with 52 minutes left in the race. Oh my god, I can't brake without the motion. This is so weird. Squeaking is gone for you guys. That's the plus side. But I can't feel when I'm about to lock the brakes, so I'll have to do it all by ear. And to sight. Oh my gosh. It's amazing how much feedback I get from this seat. So if you have the opportunity, I do recommend it. Again, I'm using the beta version of Sim Commander 3 here, which does occasionally, rarely, but wow, that had nothing to do with Sim Commander. That was just looks like page fault issue. You know what? I have to say, when I reported it, he did mention it had to do with a memory leak in iRacing. So it's really interesting that I'm seeing the paging going on like that. It's really interesting.
Go right at the chicane, Gary. Go right at the chicane.
Alright, I'm pitting in. I don't really have to announce it because no one's behind me. And I can sit here on the pit limiter and it doesn't shake the chair around. Alright, now I can talk to you guys. How's it going? Looks like a whole bunch of people coming and going. Oh, come on. Motion seat helps a ton, let me tell you. I can really feel when the car is on the threshold of locking up, but more I can feel how hard I'm braking by the motion seat. Oh yeah, it is totally worth it. I highly recommend it. Alright, and oops. Start to see, I couldn't tell how hard I was braking there. Okay, we're not going to do any optional repairs. We're just going to do regular pit service. So when they put me back on the ground, let's see if I get on the ground or if they get the fuel in first. Okay, there we go. Pit out, pit out. Because what this style of motion seat does is it simulates what the driver feels, how they're pulled in the cockpit. So it pulls me around the way a real driver would be, and you really do get a sense for the G-forces. Even though you don't have any actual G's acting on you, you get a sense of them just based on how you feel in the seat. Pressure on you in the seat, but yeah, none of that now, so I'm just driving by memory, not by feel. It's also much more intense to have the seat. I mean, you can feel everything the car's doing. Uh-oh, John Middleton in 13th is 11 seconds behind me. But he'll have to make another pit stop, so I'm not too worried he's not going to put another lap on me.
Right side, clear, clear.
Colin McLean, 1.2 seconds ahead of me.
2 minutes, 47.539.
See, now in that case, I was a little slow through Rouge because I don't know, I can't feel when the back end is loosening up on me.
Left side, clear on the left.
I think John Middleton is in the pits.
Yeah, the car's off.
Ooh, maybe Russell took him out. Although, I don't think he did, because I don't see Russell Cow right there behind me. There are a couple of Johns, so it could have been a different one. Yeah, for those of you tuning in, unfortunately, one of the slower cars that I was, the Cadillacs that I was passing bobbled and went wide, and in order to avoid him I went off track and it sent me into the wall, so I had some damage and it took me a while to get some decent repairs gone, and so now I'm several laps down from the leaders, but I'm fighting to see how many spots I can get.
Let me have that. Let me buy here, bud.
I've picked up 2 so far. There were a couple good battles in there with people who I was faster than, but laps down from.
14.494.
Oops. So I'm looking, for example, right now for, you know, like the 11th or 12th place people, because I'm probably faster than they are.
Chuck, you're blinking really bad. It's coming up on you.
And so there could be some fun battles there, because they won't give way, because I'm a lap down, or multiple probably. But I'm faster, so I'll have to fight past. And that's just what it's all about. The close racing.
Get out.
Cat and dog trying to pass.
Right side. Clear. Right side. Clear on the right.
There we go. Number 11, Chuck Chambliss. 11.5 seconds ahead of me. That's what I'm talking about. Unfortunately, he's also blinking because his connection is terrible. So I won't be too comfortable when it comes time to get by him. We'll have to see what happens here, but I'll try.
Get out.
Ah, sorry, should I move the mic farther away from my mouth? There you go. Sound any better? Okay, getting past Carl Bauer in the pits.
14.902.
Alright, cool. I think I only got past Carl in the pits there, so probably still have Chuck Chambliss ahead of me. Downshift quite right there.
Hold up.
Car on your left. Clear.
Oh, I'm actually a lap up on Brett. Alright, so Mike Taylor is in 7th, and he is 2.5 seconds behind me. Trying to keep him behind me. Oh, and John Middleton has just disconnected. He was the next car ahead of me, so that's going to be another position for me that I'll pick up in 2 laps when I get past the distance that he has run.
Car on your left. Clear on the left.
And I'll get past Lance.
Car right.
Guy ahead of
Clear. Car on your left. Stay on the right. Clear on the left.
Alright, I've unlapped myself, I think, from all the
2
Cadillacs.
minutes, 16.198.
And now I'm in 13th. Was I in 13th before? Don't remember anymore. Mike Taylor in 6th. Man, that's where I would have been if I hadn't had that problem. And based on the speed I see of Mike Taylor, maybe we would have had a good battle, but I think I could have kept him behind me.
Out.
I mean, he's just barely creeping up on me right now. He's 3 seconds behind now. That might be traffic, but even with my low top speed, he's not catching right up to me. So, you know, just outside the top 5 with the possibility of a 5th. If someone screws up in the end, that's a tough thing to lose over a back marker who screwed up. Oh well, that's how racing goes sometimes. Alright, I'm gonna get past both of these guys.
Left side. Clear on the left. Car on your left. Still there. Clear.
Sitting out.
I was actually kind of lost and thought that was quite how I wanted to get by. Chuck Chambliss in 9th. Up ahead. Still a lap up on me, or maybe 2.
The leader's pitting now. 2 minutes, 15.533.
There we go, straight line, full throttle. Yeah, Mike is not catching up with me.
Still John, dude. Keeping on like 10 seconds.
Let's see, John Middleton is only 1 second up. Yeah, I got Chuck Chambliss ahead of me. You can see how
Leader's pitting now.
he's blinking like crazy. He's in 9th. I'm going to try to unlap myself from him if I can see him long enough. Yeah, he's getting out of the way. Thank you, Chuck. Can't really have a battle when someone's only there part-time.
Get out.
And up ahead is the front-running Cadillac of James Cullen. James is returning to the Cadillac after last season's success. He is one.
Left side. Clear.
Really?
Yeah, really.
minutes, 14.566.
Chuck is the next one, but he's 2 laps ahead of me. But I'm now the 10th. I'm in 10th. So I guess I unlapped myself. I got ahead of Karl Mumbauer, and awesome. So I am now in the top 10, which all things considered is pretty darn good.
Get out.
Let's just see, we have 33 minutes left. And I have 9.5 gallons left of fuel. Figure that's like 17 laps worth.
2 minutes 13.858.
Yep, that'll do it. There.
Minutes 14.077.
You think there can't be as many idiots in real life? If you watch the starts of the Continental Challenge races this season, what have there been? Like 7 races, and out of those, 3 of them had massive pileups on starts or restarts. Barber, huge pileup, then a huge pileup in the restart. Road America, bunch of cars. My name? I'm Daniel Quaroni.
Inside.
Nah, I've run ovals a little bit. They can be fun when they're not full of yellows. mostly I just keep it on the roadside.
Car right. Clear.
Daniel Verness running in 10th. Seems uncharacteristic for him. He was a front runner in the Ford GT. I wonder if the Cadillac just doesn't suit him quite as well. Oops. See there, I'd feel the car pushing if I had the motion seat. Look at all these people that I'm on the same lap as. Wow. Oh, Colin currently running at 9th. Man. What happened
2
there?
minutes 15.042.
Or if it's just the competition in Cadillacs is that tough. Alright, between my slightly higher top end, my better brakes, and a little bit of drafting.
Ta-da.
Oops, I need to not read the chat. Pay attention to my driving. Losing focus. Okay, I'm going to turn the computer the other way so I can't read it at all. Alright, I can get past Carver here before
Right side. Clear on the right. 2 minutes 14.549.
Traffic of actually lap.
Please let me in.
Kind of getting hungry.
Sit down, sit down.
I ate extra, so I wouldn't be hungry. No, I'm not going to take breakfast, so I'll just go to bed hungry.
Sit out.
Left side.
Gary?
Clear on the left.
Catching up to Brent Riles? Carl Mumbauer is out, but I already passed him, so that doesn't matter. Coming up on Ryan Huff. side.
Car on your left. Clear on the left. Minute 14.811.
And I'm holding steady with Brent Bryles, who's in 5th, which is weird. Oh wait, he was ahead, I think. He was better than 5th, so I think that Brian Carey has passed him for 5th.
Pit out, pit out.
I will get past Brian Mark here.
Car right. Clear on the right.
Alright, let's see. We have 22 minutes left in this race. It's interesting that I'm not catching up to Brent, but he's not pulling away from me either. Doesn't matter, he's laps ahead, but not gonna get back anything from him anytime soon. Chuck Chambliss is holding steady at 11 seconds behind me. He's the next guy ahead of me.
Minute 14.735. The leader's pitting now.
So, unless Chuck crashes out, I'm going to finish in 10th. Which, hey, I picked up, what, 5-6 places from when I was in the pits, so it was totally worth doing this. I mean, again, there is a drop week in terms of the championship points, so this race might count for nothing. But if I do worse in another race, like completely crash out, then I think I'll be glad for the points that I picked up here with a 10th place finish. And that right there is not a pass for position. That is Eric lapping Brett. Just like I'm about to.
Left side. Clear.
Oops. Almost kept it on track.
Pitting out, pitting out, pitting out.
See if I can buy him after this.
Right side.
Pitting, pitting.
Clear.
I guess the truth is, there's no point in me driving hard, forcing passes like that. I mean, Chuck is the next guy, and there's just nothing I can do. Nothing I can do to get past him at all. It's completely out of reach. So, I mean, if he crashes out, then alright. Or if anyone else does.
Both guys go left. Both guys go left.
Well, here's Matthew Boyd. Let's see if I can pass him. I think he probably just came out of the pits. Catching up with him anyway.
Get out.
Even with that crappy driving.
Get out.
And he wasn't up to the traffic at that point. Now he is. Now he's getting slowed down with a Cadillac, but before that wasn't a factor.
Right side. Clear on the right.
Well, at least I can have some fun here. Oh, that hasn't happened yet this race. Actually, ever. Alright, that's okay. It only cost me a little bit of time. Let's catch back up.
2 minutes 15.366.
Did a good job to Rouge. 1.2 seconds behind him. Trying to draft. 1.2. Definitely drafting. Nice. 1.1. Let's catch back up with Matthew Voigt and play Can We Pass a Guy Ahead of Me? And then keep him behind me. Oops. Not if I insist on trying to climb the curb like that.
Outside. That's fine.
Car on your left. Clear on the left.
Didn't expect that, but we got through alright. If a little bit wobbly.
Halfway.
There we go.
I'm just gonna give it up to you, Daniel.
Car on your left. Stay
That's
on the
no
right.
fun.
Clear. 2 minutes 14.46.
Going left.
have first and second in Cadillac up ahead in a heated battle with, what, 14 minutes to go. So they're going to be really hard to pass. But let's see. I'll have one of them headed down to Rouge. Ah, that's not ideal.
Car right. Clear on the right. Right side. Clear on the right.
Thanks, Brett.
Car right. You've got about 5 laps of
Brian.
fuel. Keep to the left. 2 minutes. 15.5. 2. Clear on the right.
Oh, shoot. Oh, wow, that was close. That's something you don't have to deal with in real life. Your brain doesn't usually freeze up like that.
Car on your left. Clear. Minutes 15.492. You're in the top 10.
Yeah, I've been in the top 10 for a really long time. Oops. Down, checking the time. 10 minutes, 24 seconds. 2.8 gallons of fuel. 2.8 gallons is almost 5 laps worth. Oh man, this is going to be close. This is going to be ridiculously close. You know what? Doesn't matter at all, but for fuel's sake, I guess I should take it easy. It's not fun. It's fun if I race it like I was racing. For a position.
Thanks, Gary.
I'm going to have to take a small splash of fuel. Let's just get rid of the... Oops. Tire change, because I won't want that. I'm just going to want 1 gallon of fuel. Ooh, I wonder who Timothy Stoll just took out, and if he took out himself.
Minute 16.211.
Well, this is a whole lot better than my seat froze up at Daytona. Angle off to the side. At least it's pretty much straight on, up and down this way.